Top 5 questions for week 2. Since I will not see you guys tomorrow, I thought we would go over this today.
All right.
Number 5. Can Miami match Texas A&M's athleticism? A&M's got a lot of really good athletes. Again, the offense, again, you can't, I don't know, we're going to completely say like both these teams have fixed their problems on offense after A&M beat New Mexico and Miami beat Miami of Ohio, but I would think that A&M, because Jimbo Fisher's been a little longer, obviously has more depth, more athleticism. They handled Miami last year, and they didn't really handle anybody else, but Miami in particular, they really punched in the mouth in Kyle Field. I wonder how much different that is year over year to this year, but, Mario Cristobal feels better about the team he has this year, so we'll see, but I think that's going to be the biggest problem for the Canes on Saturday is, do they have the depth to match A&M right now?
Yeah, I don't know. A&M looked really good. I didn't see much of Miami, but I thought the Aggies played pretty dang well. I mean, they're going to have some stars on defense, but they got some playmakers on offense, especially with Weigman sleeping around like he did. So, that's going to be, obviously a big question heading in, and somebody's going to be down in the dumps after this game one way or the other. I mean, both teams, feel like they need to be rising or are rising, and somebody's taking their first loss regardless. So, it's going to be a bummer for whoever's on the receiving end. I'm going to say that's Miami right now. I know a lot's been made about, like, them trying to push tickets here and get that bad boy sold out with, like, promotions and stuff. But I'd expect that, A&M's going to, look good, and excited to see more of the Bobby Petrino-led offense because it started off with a bang.
Yeah, Miami, look, if they can be rock stars again, they'll sell tickets. But that,
right.
They set a standard, that after 2001 they haven't met. And then the fans have said, look, that's the standard that we expect if you want us to buy tickets every week. So it's unfortunate for them that they're not in a place like Ames or College Station or Lincoln where the game is the thing to do. But, best of luck to them on that. Number 4, can Baylor fix the offensive line in a week?
There's no way.
Yeah. I mean,
you could switch out a couple of players. You could move somebody from tackle to guard to help strengthen up. I don't know how you fix it in 1 week.
I mean, there's one player I'm thinking of in particular. I'm not going to out or anything, but it's I've been hearing the same story about just needs to develop for 3 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to develop, guys. Mm-hmm. He's not going to at this point. If you're still saying the same thing from year 1, 2 years later. I mean, it's so, that's supposed to be one of their big players, and it clearly hasn't panned out. You can kind of go up and down the line. I mean, I feel for the guys. They lost a lot of talent. They lost a lot of, guys who had come back to start again, a lot of experience. And it was a very up and down year last year, even with all those guys back. So then you think, well, maybe they'll bounce back, but they have so much less experience now, even with the Barrington brothers coming in. And based on what we saw in week 1, I mean, sure, if they're playing SFA this week, but they're playing Utah. So no, I don't see a huge bounce back this week. And can they fix the O-line? I mean, to get it to the point where it's like a championship caliber line that can allow Sawyer Robertson to do what he wants and think, I'm having a hard time seeing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing it.
Yeah. Number 3, will Tech be able to trade blows with Oregon? Because like I said before, guys, I think that's what this game is going to be. It's going to be back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But can Tech continue to do that and then be in a position at the end of the game where they get to strike that final blow?
I think they can. I think they can trade blows with them. Eventually, I do think that they can put up points no matter what happened in Wyoming.
I mean, they could definitely put up points. I mean, the scoring wasn't necessarily the problem against Wyoming. So it wasn't like they've scored 14 points and lost, a close game like that. It was double overtime. I mean, they can score, but can they get the stops and that? I mean, I think that's the key. Whoever wins this game is whoever's defense probably plays better. But yeah, they can absolutely trade blows with Oregon. But just for how long? Can they do it the length of the game? Mm-hmm. I don't know enough right now to know that because we've seen such a small sample size.
It's all about if you get a score. Let's say you score. They score. You get it back. You don't. They score. And then you can't have one of you can't lose serve more than maybe once.
You can't do what you did last week where you get out to a huge start and everything's clicking on all cylinders and then midway into the game you're completely falling off the map and you're unable to keep it up because they got off to a hot start and they just faded and they allowed Wyoming to climb into the game and feel like, oh, we got a chance to keep it close. And then you saw what ended up happening. But, I mean, that started off like it was going to be – 58-14, and they were just going to blow them out. But they got to be able to sustain it.
I quit watching it or following it because it was that
17
way.
to nothing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's how it's going to be. And then went home, went to bed after the postgame show, woke up and saw the text that you guys sent and was like, what?
Yeah.
So
I got home and turned it on, and you're right. They were lining up for 2.
Yeah. Number 2, does Tulane have enough depth to hang with Ole Miss? I think this is going to be one of those games, especially because you've got a really good quarterback, a really experienced team, that Tulane will be able to, kind of, bob and weave a little bit, so to speak, for a while. I think Ole Miss probably just too good. I think Quinshon Judkins is going to, be a problem for everybody that they play. Also, Willie Fritz and Lane Kiffin could not be too different, more different as coaches and personalities. But I'm very curious. Like, I think it's great that Ole Miss is going into Tulane to play this game. I think it's great that Tech went into Wyoming to play a game. I wish more of that stuff would happen and not get, drilled down in the, well, we don't want to go to your
No, we want to
place.
go to Las Vegas and have it at the Raiders Stadium.
Yeah. Go play college games in college stadiums. Like, look, Florida State, LSU makes sense in Orlando. Like, that's huge. Like, it made sense. But, doing all these other, the less, neutral site games in the first part of the season, the better for me. I hope more of this happens. Probably won't, because that's, a cool thing. But I do think this game's going to be interesting, but I think Ole Miss probably has too much.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't mind those games every so often, but I don't think that always needs to be the case, especially early in the season. But that's why you have the games partially, right? Is because you have the big setup for it. But, yeah, I mean, Tulane's got a really salty team. I know Ole Miss is heavy favorites at this point. But, I don't know about the depth. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be cool to see Tulane at home welcoming in, Kiffin and the Rebs. And I just feel like there's going to be a lot of cool buzz surrounding this game. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rule them out from having an opportunity, but I don't know about the depth piece as far as this matchup goes.
Yeah. And number 1, will Texas break through? This is, if they win this game, that's a breakthrough moment for them. Will they do it? And, it's a daunting task to go into Bryant-Denny, but this could be for Sark a watershed moment for his tenure there.
Tim said in the chat room he needs a signature win. Well, this would be like a John Hancock, right?
It's going to be amazing when they beat Bama and then 2 weeks later lose to 1-2 Baylor in Waco. No, will they? No, I'm picking Bama in this game. I think it's going to be an excellent game, though. I think close to, not like necessarily the way that last year played out, 20-19 or whatever, but I do think it's going to be a close ball game. I think they absolutely have a chance. Gun to my head, though, I'll lean Alabama, but I absolutely think Texas has a chance. They got to play cleaner than they did last week, though. I mean, the defense was good, but the offense kind of just didn't finish well for a lot of that game. The third quarter, they exploded, and that, created some separation. They kind of went about their business. But, that defense against Jalen Milroe, and he's going to have to, be better and bigger and all that will be a great matchup. And then, Ewers and that offense that's just loaded with weapons everywhere. Can the offensive line protect him? Can they be better? I think those are kind of the major questions coming into this game. But will they? No. Can they? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it's just Milroe sometimes doesn't protect the football. So maybe early on, if he coughs it up or whatever. What a game it was last year. It really was. And that was with Alabama jumping out to a 10-3 lead when the kid from Aledo went 81 yards or whatever.
Chase McClellan.
Yeah, and it was a heck of a game. And Texas has the weapons. Alabama's got a couple of players dinged up in the secondary. Should be fun to watch. Garrett, great job. Thank you very much. Owen was here. Jack McKenzie was here. Emery